Good morning. Welcome to our verse of the day, and our verse is coming from 1 Timothy 3:1-7. If anyone wants to provide leadership in the church, good, but there are preconditions. A leader must be well thought of, committed to his wife, cool and collected, accessible and hospitable. He must know what he's talking about, not be over fond of wine, not pushy but gentle, not thin-skinned, not money hungry. He must handle his own affairs well, attentive to his own children, and having their respect. For if someone is able to handle his own affairs, or isn't able to handle his own affairs, how can he take care of God's church? He must not be a new believer, lest the position go to his head and the devil trip him up. Outsiders must think well of him, or else the devil will figure out a way to lure him into his trap. So these are the requirements of the leaders in the church, and this is a very much right now word. Why? Because we have too many leaders in the church that should not be. Not saying that to be judgmental, not saying that because you have to be perfect. This isn't telling you that you have to be perfect, but you can't just be a leader because I give my tithes, or because I believe in God, or because I do this, and this. No, as a leader, you can't be pushy. You can't force the word on people. You have to have a kind and a gentle heart. Above all else, you gotta love God, and you have to love others more like you love yourself. All right? You don't have to be perfect to be a leader in the church. Don't get it twisted. You don't have to be perfect at all. I hold a leadership position in my ministry. I'm not perfect by any means, but I know the word of God, and I execute the word of God to the best of my ability. If you know the word of God and you live by the word of God to the best of your ability, then that's fine. Make sure you're not money hungry. Too many of these preachers out here are planting church for the profit. This is why so many people experience church hurt, because they go to, especially the people who have been out there in the world, who want to come in and experience God for themselves, and all you do is push them right back out. You push them right back out because you are seeking money. If it's meant for you to plant a church, God is going to open doors for you. He's not going to put you in a position where you are constantly struggling just to upkeep the house of God. It's not rocket science here. It's not rocket science. A lot of these leaders shouldn't even be leaders simply because they're mean, or they don't treat their members right, or they're judgmental, or they're money hungry, or they're forceful. You can't be like that. You have to be loving. You have to be kind. You have to be gentle. Yes, it's going to be some battles. It's going to be hard. Walking this walk is not easy at all for any leader. It doesn't matter if you're an evangelist, a prophet, bishop, apostle, deacon, anything. Holding a leadership position in the church is not easy at all, simply because of the people that you're coming across. You're going to have to fight flesh a lot of days. But as long as you do what you're supposed to do, follow the word of God, and you treat his sheep right, you're bringing in his sheep, you're okay. But a lot of these people, these leaders out here, don't do that. That's why nowadays you have to be careful which church you go to. You really have to ask God, should I go to this house? Should I go to this house? What about this house? Because churches aren't like how they used to be. Back when your parents and your grandparents was going up, the ushers were mean. But I'll tell you one thing, the churches stuck together. They had a clothes pantry, a food pantry. They didn't judge the girl coming in with hot pants on because they knew that from where she came from, that's probably all she had. They didn't judge the prostitute because some of them used to be prostitutes. They didn't judge the homeless. They didn't judge the drug addicts because some of them were drug addicts. This judgmental spirit that you leaders like to carry around, that's going to be your downfall. This spirit of jealousy that you leaders like to come around, that's going to be your downfall. This spirit of cussing but going behind the pulpit, this spirit of masturbation but going behind the pulpit, this spirit of treating people wrong, but you want to come up in the church and talk the word, you think God is not going to pull the covers on you? He is. He's going to pull the covers on you real soon. So either you get it together, or God is going to do a lot of revealing.